Hi, today we want to present industrial relation system in Thailand. But before that, I want to introduce you our team member. My name is Syakirin bin Ngadiman, 67853.
My name is Dr. Zaitu Zihan binti Ismail and my metric number is 68406.
My name is Sharifah Suruji and my metric number is 68813.
Hi everyone, my name is Nurazima binti Zainal. My matrix number is 67268.
Hi, my name is Tamashu. Metric number 67894.
Our group has chosen Thailand as the country for our research. Thailand is the centerpiece of Southeast Asia. The diverse habitats of Thailand include the northern border high forested hills, large middle plain rice fields, large northeast platforms, and rocky beaches on the tiny southern peninsula, all in the Tropica. The economy of Thailand depends on the exports of local rice and other foods and products such as rice, rubber, teak, and tin. The government then started encouraging a move from agriculture to textile industry, consumer goods, and ultimately exportable components. Thailand's economy developed at one of the fastest rates in the world between 1963 and 1997. By 1963, the approval of the first National Development Plan was advanced from agriculture to industry. According to UN data, Thailand's population is estimated 69,799,978 people in year 2020. Besides, the total world population is equivalent 0.9% and the population ranking number which is 20 in the list of countries. In addition, 51.1% of Thailand's population is urban. On the other hand, the median age is in Thailand which is 40.1 years. Thailand's GDP per capita is 51% higher than the world average. Thailand's gross domestic product per capita climbed to 543.56 billion USD in December 2019 from 506.4 billion USD in December 2018.
About the trade union, there are 4 trade unions in Thailand, which is LCT, SCRC, MPCE, and TTUC. The largest trade union in Thailand is SCRC. SCRC is an independent national labor organization with 200,000 members from state-owned enterprise and private companies. The present 44 union and 2 union members are in the private sector, and 1 member is from Ministry of Public Health temporary worker. Another one are migrant organization. The main purpose of SCRC is to support and assist all kinds of workers, including informal workers, migrant workers, and diaspora workers, which to give them protection. Issue of collective bargaining in Thailand, such as wages, salary, and bonus among their members within the company. Besides, the act that related to the collective bargaining, which is the Labor Relations Act, the right to organize and bargain collectively, prohibition of forced or compulsory labor, the acceptable condition of work, and right of association. According to the data source, number of labor force and employed people in Thailand from 2015 to 2020 are the same situation, which is decreasing gradually. This because the COVID-19 pandemic hit the Thailand's economy and caused job losses. Therefore, to curb the spread of the virus, the Prime Ministry of the Thailand announced an emergency decree to shut down all the places and shuttles. This means that the interruption of various economies' activity has led to a sharp decline in employment, which is enough to affect people work and also constitute million people unemployment. Thailand is is one of the few middle-income countries. So because of its steady economic growth and relatively high wages, Thailand has attracted many foreign workers from the neighboring countries, especially Cambodia, Laos, and Myanmar. Although the data show that the domestic workers more than foreign workers, but still not affect the desire of foreign workers to work in Thailand. Because the factors such as rising wages and better living standards have caused more foreigners to look for jobs here. Besides, from data of the relation of foreign workers by country of origin and gender, it can be seen that the Laos female foreign workers is more than male foreign workers in Thailand. This is because the level of gender awareness in their country is very low, and also raw woman is usually neither visible nor verbal, so that most of the female foreign workers from Laos come to Thailand. Therefore, female foreign workers from Laos also have an important role in the Thailand agriculture, small-scale business and manufacturing, especially in the garment industry, and related to the provision of basic services such as education and health. In addition, from the data about the number of foreign skilled workers in Thailand, the top three countries that most of foreign skilled workers in Thailand which are Japan, UK and other countries. This means that the foreign skilled workers not only bring huge economic benefit to Thailand, but also bring social costs for the economy. This is also because Thailand has sufficient job creation and the local demand for foreign skilled workers.
Employment by sector shows that the creation of employment opportunities in each sector is overall employment in the economy. In short, it reveals the absorptive capacity of each department, labor and labor intensity used as vectors of production. Employment by sector in Thailand is distributed into three sectors, which is agriculture, industry and services. As you can see from the chart, it shows people in Thailand is more to services than agriculture and industry. For instance, in 2020, employment by services sectors is 46.33%, which is higher than agriculture and industry, which is 31.16% and 22.52%. Next is determinant of the employment pattern in Thailand. First is immigration. The immigration choice is depend on their normal expenses and advantages. Different factors additionally influence immigration such as food security, foundation, and characteristic factors like cataclysmic events and war. Second is social impact. Migrants from immature nations financially affect the whole provincial and metropolitan territories. Unfamiliar specialists will in general substitute low-talented positions and cause furious rivalry in the work market. Along these lines, further discouraging wages. Lastly, job-seeking immigrant workers' characteristic. Recruiting transient laborers can carry advantages to the employers. Because of work deficiencies in the work environment, bosses can try not to recruit unfamiliar laborers. Thai specialists abstain from doing grimy, perilous, and troublesome positions.
So I will explain about government agencies handling of domestic workers and foreign workers. The first one is International Labour Organization. One of the agencies that handle domestic workers and foreign workers in Thailand is International Labour Organization. The Thai government and the social partners have developed by extensive three-party consultations, the First Decent Working Country Program DWCP for Thailand for the period 2019 to 2021, which provides an overall framework for collaborations with the ILO. The ILO's current focus fields of work are access to social care and security is being expanded. Inspection of staff should be more strictly enforced, and Thailand has ratified 15 international labor organization conventions, 3 of which are main conventions, which are C100 on equal remuneration, C138 on minimum age, and C182 on worst form of child labor. Thailand have been swift to design COVID-19 stimulus and relief initiatives, but as the crisis deepens, concerns about the feasibility of measures to hit the most vulnerable, as well as the government ability to maintain its fiscal expansions, are likely to emerge. Supporting daily cash flows, whether monthly or weekly, is critical for the self-employed. When companies are closed and people are advised to remain immobile, finding a new job may not be a choice for those who are no longer working. So next, I will talk about Ministry of Labor and Social Welfare. One of the government agencies that work closely to manage domestic and foreign workers in Thailand is the Ministry of Labor and Social Welfare Thailand. When the nation transitioned from an absolute monarchy to a constitutional monarchy in 1932, the first announcement on labor and social welfare policy was made. The Employment Act was announced in 1933, and to enforce it, the government established an employment service section in the registration division of the Interior Department. The Employment Service section was upgraded and renamed Labor Division in 1934, and it was transferred to the Economic Ministry's Commercial Department. The Department of Public Welfare was formed as a department within the Office of the Prime Minister's administrative framework in order to promote people's well-being by assisting them in finding appropriate occupations and earning sufficient incomes. Labor Division was renamed Occupational Assistance Division, then Occupational Assistance and Promotion Division, and finally Labor Division in 1952. Under the oversight of the Public Welfare Department, the Labor Division was renamed to the Labor Bureau. For the first time this year, labor administration was expanded to the province and improved its roles to meet the growing needs at the national and international levels as a result of social and economic development. Since 1982, a plan to elevate the Department of Labor to ministry status has been under discussion, with support from employers and workers' unions as well as other social groups. The Department of Public Welfare's responsibilities have been shifted to the Ministry of Social Development and Human Security by the Ministry of Labor and Social Welfare.
The Labour Protection Act 1998 is the main law and policies for employment in Thailand. Every business conducted in Thailand using workers must follow this act. Payment of wage in Thailand is paid monthly. Thailand has implemented minimum wage since 1973, which is 12 baht per day, but only implemented in Bangkok and other 3 surrounding provinces. In 2011, Thailand government has set the new level of minimum wage that implemented to all provinces in Thailand, which is 300 baht per day. So, the minimum wage in Thailand is based on the 300 baht, which is 39.58 Malaysian ringgit per day. The minimum wage is constant from 2012 until 2017, but increased to 325 baht in 2018, 331 baht in 2019, and 336 baht in 2020. Now, Thailand minimum wage is 336 baht per day, which is 44.33 Malaysian ringgit. Thailand pay overtime with different rate to the employee. Employer should pay not less than 1.5 times of the normal hour wage to employee that work overtime in normal working day, 2 times for the employee that work in holiday, 3 times for the employee that work overtime after working hour on holiday. Section 57, 58 and 59 stated that employer need to pay wage to the employee that have sick leave, military service leave, and maternity leave. However, for military service leave period is not exceeding 60 days per year. Wage pay to the employee that take maternity leave but not exceeding 45 days per year. employee working time is 8 hours per day and the total hour is not exceed 48 hours. However, the work that might be dangerous to the health and safety to the employee must not exceed 7 hours per day. In 1 week, the total hours of working must not exceed 42 hours. Worker can work overtime based on several cases, which is work need to be performed continuously. Second, where the work is emergency. However, consent need to be obtained from the employee in order to work overtime. Only worker that is 18 years old above are permitted to perform overtime. The maximum limit of overtime hours worked by an employee is not exceed 36 hours in a week. Employee is entitled to take 6 types of leave, which is annual leave, medical leave, maternity leave, military service leave, sterilization leave, and training leave. Employee that have worked in 1 year is entitled to take annual leave of not less than 6 working days per year. Medical leave period is not exceeding 40 working days per year. Pregnant female can take maternity leave not more than 90 days per pregnancy. The employer will provide full pay for 45 days. Employee is entitled to take leave in order to be sterilized in the time period that has been stated by the doctor. Employee get pay for the sterilization leave. Employee entitled to take training leave. Employee should not get pay on his basic pay on training leave. For military service leave, employee need to pay wage up to 60 days per year. Thailand workers are entitled to severance pay upon termination. Severance pay only applies to the employees that already work for the company for more than 120 days. Employees that have worked more than 120 days will get severance pay equal to 1 month's salary. Employees that have worked more than 1 year but less than 3 years will get severance pay equal to 3 months' salary. Employees that have worked more than 3 years but less than 10 years will get severance pay equal to 8 months' salaries. Employees that have worked more than 10 years will get severance pay equal to 10 months' salary. Working of Alien Act BE 2551/2008 is Thailand's main policies regarding on the foreign worker that work in Thailand. The foreign worker need to have work permit before starting to work in Thailand. The work permit only can be processed if the foreigner has non-immigrant visa or resident visa. The occupation is not prohibited for the foreigner and the employee is available to provide document for work permit. However, several status of foreign worker do not need permit to perform their work in Thailand, which is member of consular missions, member of diplomatic corps, foreigner that performing any mission that benefit culture, education or sport in Thailand, and other more. The validity of work permit is 1 year. Permit need to be renewed every year. However, if the duration of foreigner is less than week, the work permit will be granted not more than the period requested. The company only can hire 1 foreign worker with paid-up registered capital of 2 million baht. Additional 2 million baht is needed if the employee wants to hire 1 more foreigner. Company only could hire maximum 10 foreign employer. If the company want to hire more than 10 foreign employers, the company need to have foreign business license (FBL) or has approved by the Board of Investment (BOI). Employer is prohibited to order female worker and pregnant female worker to perform heavy and dangerous work such as mining and construction work that perform underground, underwater, in tunnel or in cave, except the condition of work cannot harm their body or their health. The working hour of pregnant female worker is different from another employee, which is pregnant woman cannot work between 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. The employee may require pregnant female employees to work overtime in the working day as long it will not affect on her health or pregnant. Besides, female worker also entitled to take maternity leave not more than 19 days for each pregnancy. Employer cannot employ child that under 15 years old age as an employee. Young worker under 18 years old need to comply with certain conditions which is notify a labor inspector. Young worker is entitled to get rest 1 hour every 4 hours of work. For working hour, young worker that is under 18 years old cannot work between time of 10 p.m. until 6 a.m. unless the Director General give the written permission. Young employee under 18 years old cannot work overtime or to work on holiday. Young worker under 18 years old cannot perform any heavy dangerous working tasks. Employer cannot pay wage of the young worker to another person such as their parent. Worker under 18 years old is entitled to take leave for attending seminars, obtaining education training or meeting. Government Pension Act BE 2494/1951 stipulates that 60 years old of age is the retirement age for the civil servant. In Thailand, there is 2 pension schemes that are available for the employee. The first scheme is all-age pension system for private sector. The second pension scheme is government pension fund, which is exclusively for the civil servant. Participation for both of these pension schemes are mandatory. In Thailand, there are 2 mandatory schemes that employer and employee need to contribute. The first is Social Security Fund (SSF) and Workmen's Compensation Fund (WCF). Both employer and employee need to contribute to SSF every month. The contribution rate is 5% of the employee's salary. The minimum salary that is calculated for the contribution is 1,650 baht, and the maximum amount of salary is 15,000 baht. This means that the minimum contribution is 83 baht, while the maximum contribution is 750 baht. Workmen's Compensation Fund (WCF) is addition to the Social Security contribution. Employees need to contribute for this fund annually. The contribution rate is 0.2% to 1% of the employee's annual salary. The maximum salary is calculating this contribution is 240,000 baht per year. This fund is used to pay workmen's compensation for work-related injury, sickness, death, loss of organ, or loss to employees who are insured persons.